And today we are talking about the all or nothing mindset in relation to goals, your autoimmune disease, and just growing as a person in general. But if you are new to our community, we are going to introduce ourselves. I am Casey Kephart. I am a functional medicine nutritionist and the founder of the Feel Good Formula. I work with women with all different types of autoimmune diseases to get you back to the activities you love to do, get you back energized, pain-free, and running with your kids again. And I reside in St. Petersburg, Florida. Jessica?
You bet. And I am Jessica Melnick. I'm the founder of the Anti-Arthritis Method, the host of the Happy Joints Arthritis Solutions Group. I am a registered holistic nutritionist, and I help men and women with various forms of arthritis get back to living life the way that they choose to, not the way that they have to.
Awesome. So what is an all or nothing mindset? I'm sure that we've all heard this before, or we've heard that we're black and white thinking. That can also go in the all or nothing mindset as well. So an all or nothing mindset is when you don't complete a task or you don't do something until everything is in order, until it's perfect, or until you did 100% of the research that you wanted to do. This is oftentimes looked at as like really great. You're covering all your bases, right? Because you're trying to understand everything. You're trying to make sure the financials are in order beforehand, or the kids are set up, or whatever it is. But oftentimes it inhibits us from starting our goal, even though everything isn't set up 100% or perfect. We can still start our goals even though our ducks aren't completely in a row. There might be two ducks that are just like going out there doing their thing. And that's okay. We can get those ducks in a row when we're on the journey of our goal. So we wanted to talk more about that today in regards to autoimmune disease and getting your health back on track. So we often find people who are interested in our programs or interested in just living a healthier lifestyle for their autoimmune disease in general, but they're not starting, they're not doing it. And we always hear, well, I need to make a little bit more money beforehand, or I need to wait until my kids go off to school so I'll have more time, or I have a vacation coming up, I can't do it right now. Those are all excuses we're telling ourselves, and it's that all or nothing mindset stopping you from your goal. So we want to say here that nothing's ever going to be perfect for you to start. The conditions are not going to be all green. There's going to be some yellow flags in there. There's going to be maybe one red flag, but that doesn't mean that you can't go on with your goal and worry about those things along the way, because we can always tweak and adjust and reassess as we go. So, Jessica, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I'm going to say I've seen this in myself because I call myself a recovering perfectionist. And I know for those of you who have perfectionistic tendencies where you feel like you have to have everything perfect, like you were saying, all your ducks in a row, everything completely researched, you've uncovered every single stone, and everything is just the optimal conditions to begin before it's going to be good enough. And what I know for myself, what I've learned over the years is I have to throw that out the window because
Mm-hmm.
A, that causes procrastination and that can be indefinite, right? And it's also like you don't get anything done. It's kind of sometimes being almost like paralyzed by fears, paralyzed by, I call it analysis paralysis. I love that,
Mm-hmm.
where you just keep going over things in your mind over and over and over, trying to come up with the best case scenario and kind of drive yourself crazy, but it's not actually moving you further in the direction of your goals. And so it's being open-minded and willing to let that perfection go, because like you said, with life, there's always going to be changing circumstances, things that happen that are unforeseen, things that are not ideal, but it doesn't have to stop you from moving forward to improving your health goals, because like you said, it's a lifelong journey and there's going to be bumps in the road. And that doesn't mean that you have to start over from the very beginning or quit because something happened that wasn't exactly on your plan.
Yeah, exactly. And oftentimes, because I have the all or nothing mindset too, that we're constantly working on every day, is sometimes you don't need that duck to be in a row in a row for that goal to happen. We just think we do. It's an unnecessary duck, if that makes any sense at all. It's just to make you feel more comfortable, but you honestly don't need it. And I was talking to my grandma about this a couple weeks ago, actually, because I had so many things on my list and I wanted to make sure I had everything set up and then to be able to go do what I wanted to do. And she's like, you know what I heard the other day? This lady, she said, just do it badly. Just do it badly. And the point of that was just do it. You might be bad at it, and that's okay, but you already stepped over that line of doing it, and now you're that much closer to your goal, and you have some momentum now, even if you are bad at it. So putting that into reference with an autoimmune disease, let's say you're debating signing up for one of our programs, right? You know, it will be beneficial for you and it will help you keep accountable, all of the things. And you say, okay, here is my card, take it. And then you do your first shopping list and you forgot some things, or you didn't make a recipe, or you ate something you shouldn't. You did it badly. That's okay. That's a win in our book. You signed up for the goal. You're making it happen. You had a mistake, but that's something we work towards. Doing better the next week and the next week and the next week, but you already have that momentum. And the point was, and the win was that you did it. So whatever it is today that you're thinking of wanting to do to get you closer to your goal, do it badly or just do it.
Yeah, I love that because chances are when we first do things, it is not going to be great. And that's okay. At least you're doing something like you said, and you're moving forward, even if you've done it poorly or, not as good as what you want. And I also know that lots of times, especially for those recovering perfectionists out there like myself, that doing something that we perceive is poor, like is that we did poorly or we didn't do good enough, chances
Mhm.
are that's going to be good for a lot of people and it's going to be beneficial for a lot of people. So for example, I love how in business coaching I learned imperfect action, massive imperfect action. And by doing that, by taking action and working towards things even imperfectly, you're still going to be that much further ahead. Like Casey and I could have said, well, we're not going to do these lives. We're not going to share what we know. And that's going to be helpful for other people until we have, a professional filming studio with like a professional camera person and all the things, right? We could say, well, we can't do that because it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look like, something professional that you'd see on television. But I would like to think that what we put out into the world is helping people and it doesn't have to be perfect to do so.
Yeah, no, that's a really great example, Jessica. I was thinking about that as you were talking too. Like, for example, our lives. I think our first live, I had to do it at a coffee shop because I couldn't do it where I was staying with my mom. So um, we had to get through that hurdle and the sound. But then also, we didn't have microphones, we didn't have webcams, we didn't have any of that stuff. But yet, we're still like, we're going to do it. And then, and we did. And over time, we were able to get a webcam and a microphone. And, things still aren't perfect. We have no editing, we have no anything, but we're still doing the things and growing. And it's made us better people, better business women, and more professional in our businesses. So, was the first live perfect? No, but we did it.
Mhm.
So I hope this helps for you guys to think about what is something that you can do that will get you closer to your goal and like squash that all or nothing mindset. And we have some examples written out today that we kind of wanted to go through just to hone this down a little bit more, and ones that you may resonate with that maybe you're not aware of yet. So Jessica, do you want to start us
Yeah,
off?
I'd love to. So these examples are going to be related to changing nutrition, diet, working towards health goals. And this is a lot of times we see sometimes it comes up with our clients. So the thought of, I don't have the perfect diet, I'm not doing this correctly. So instead, you want to shift that thinking to, I am doing what I can right now, and I'm going to continue to add one thing a week to move me further ahead. So instead of being like, well, there's no point in changing my eating habits unless I'm 100% in on this specific nutrition protocol in order to get results. So I'm just not going to bother. Not true. Think about one thing that you can do right now, one thing, like even one new recipe that you can add to your diet that week that is on plan, that is going to support your health. And even just that one meal, that one recipe, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And it's these things that we build on over time that really make a difference.
Yep, exactly. The next one being, I can't start until I have all of my groceries and recipes, but instead, what can I start with right now that I have in my house? And I feel like this resonates with me because it's like, well, I can't start eating healthy or be back on my low carb until I go grocery shopping and I plan my meals. When in reality, there's cans of salmon and tuna in there that I can eat, and there's high carbohydrate foods I can throw away and just eat the things that I have. You can do what you have at home for the time being until you go out grocery shopping. So again, it's that all or nothing mindset that we need to squash and just do what we can with the things that are available for us.
Absolutely. And another one too that I found with my clients is, especially when you're dealing with arthritis and joint pain, that can actually affect your mobility and your ability to have movement and to exercise. And in addition, when you have an autoimmune condition, there's also something that you might be dealing with called exercise intolerance. That's something that we talk about in our programs as well. So when you have an autoimmune condition, it's really common to have symptoms of fatigue. So not just mental fatigue, but just body fatigue in general. And that's something that you can definitely lessen, something that we can definitely help you with, because it is a reality and it is a very common symptom. And so when it comes to movement, and it's so, so important for all of us to get movement in, but that doesn't mean that you need to go to the gym and, do an hour-long weight workout, or that you need to be training for a half marathon or anything like that. It's, okay, well, maybe I can't do regular walks right now because I'm dealing with some immobility issues and I'm in pain. So maybe instead you could ask yourself, what can my body do right now? Let's focus on what you can do. Like, are you able to walk to the end of your driveway or around the block? Or are you able to do some stretching that will help make your muscles feel better? So think about, what can your body do right now? What feels good? So those things count too. It doesn't have to be a spin class or a CrossFit class or any of those things. I used to, tell myself it wasn't a workout unless I was like barely hanging on for dear life.
Yep.
And man, have things changed.
Yep. No, I agree. Another one would be, I can't get everything done on my to-do task list, so I'm just going to not do it today. But instead, what's one or two tasks I can get done today that will get me further into crossing off that whole list? This one is true to my heart just because if I showed you my to-do list, it's about 50 things right now. And maybe half are crossed off, but they weren't crossed off in one day. But oftentimes when I look at that list, my head goes to the all or nothing of like, I need to do 25 things today to cross this off. And then I get, wow, hold on. And then I get overwhelmed. And I just don't do it. I'll go take a nap or something. And I've always been like that too. In college, when we'd have finals, I would need to study for about like 3 exams. What I did instead was I went to Culver's and got the biggest ice cream there was, and then I took a nap because I was so overwhelmed and I couldn't study for 3 finals at one time. So in my head, it was like, it's all or nothing. But in reality, I could have done 10 minutes and then took a break for an hour, do another 10 minutes. It would have been something. So write down one thing each day that you're going to get done that will cross off that list.
Yeah, I love it. One thing too, we can sometimes run into when people are contemplating doing our programs and trying to determine if it's the right time, are they going to be able to just do it 100%, for the whole entire time and never slip up. And so they're kind of like, I've got these things coming up, or I have an event, or I have a trip. So maybe I should wait to start this program until after my trip. So instead, what I really want you to think of is like, what can I do each day that's going to get me further to my goal? So we can also learn how to eat better and take better care of ourselves when we are traveling. So it doesn't have to mean that, all of your healthy eating or movement goes out the door when you go on a trip or have a holiday. There's, doing the best that you absolutely can. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, like we said, every little bit counts towards that end goal. And there's always going to be an event or a special occasion or unforeseen circumstance that's going to come up and trip us up and make things a little trickier for ourselves. And we can work around that. It's okay. And I have to say, I've had some clients who have started my program and working with me when they know they do have a trip coming up. They're going to either be out of the country or, getting away from the cold winter here in Canada for a bit. And one of my new clients, I was so proud of her. She's going to be out of the country for a couple months this winter. And she decided to start the program anyways, because she knows that there's going to be so much benefit for the work that she's doing between now and then. And she's going to be more prepared, and we're going to be able to work through things that she can do while she's traveling, while she's away, that are still going to support her health and get her towards her goal of feeling amazing.
Yep, exactly. Because you don't want to feel like poop while you're on vacation. So why not put in the work, enjoy the sights and everything, and you cook your meals at home or figure out how to order at a restaurant, because those are skills that we're going to need to learn lifelong if you have an autoimmune disease in general. So why not experiment with that in real time while you have somebody to help you? I love that. So in general, what we're saying with the all or nothing mindset is something is better than nothing. Just do something that will move you closer to your goal. So we challenge you today, write down that one something, put it in the comments for some more accountability, or tell your spouse, or say it out loud, something that will solidify it just a little bit more for you.
Absolutely. I love that. And, I, like I said, I'm speaking to my fellow recovering perfectionists out there. You will feel so much better if you just start. Just start. Just one thing. One thing will get you feeling, get you in that momentum. And it's something that you can check off of your to-do list. It's an accomplishment. So just do something.
Exactly. We're all recovering all or nothing mindsets over here. And that might be why we have an autoimmune disease in general. So
probably had something to do with it, I'm sure.
Right? Yeah, you're not alone. Let us know if you like this video, put a heart on it. Let us know what you're working towards. We'd love to hear it and help you out if we can. We'll be back next Tuesday, and everybody have a great weekend and rest of your week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Bye.